This is Hannibal, the death dealer here, the original death dealer, name given to me by the superstar himself, Billy Graham, with a daily wrestling news update. Just came back from the gym where they did have Raw playing at the gym, but I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I did see one point they had a segment with Kevin Owens where he was wearing a red shirt sitting down in the middle of the ring, and he looked like he had just swallowed one of those Bosu balls that you work out with, those giant balls that the gym has got was so big. And I had to use a picture from last night on the screenshot of this video because I went out there and ran for 2 hours in a lightning storm. And in the process, I actually destroyed my headphones that were worth a lot of money. So I had to go out and buy new ones today. So I'm going to be more careful next time it's raining that hard when I go out there for my runs. It is Vince McMahon's 75th birthday today. He has officially been a senior citizen for 10 years. And of course, according to reports, he has the final say on creative. Not that a younger guy like Triple H could do any better, because we've seen NXT just get spanked week after week by AEW. Both of them are in the low ratings, actually embarrassingly low ratings, but AEW is still beating them. To give you an idea of how low the Dynamite viewership is, if you add up the monthly Dynamite viewership, it doesn't even equal the monthly viewership I have on this channel. And I am just a regular person that never wrestled in the major leagues other than a few matches in WWE and a few matches in Impact. But I can somehow get as many views in a month on my channel, or actually more views than Dynamite. So I'm happy that the world is changing and YouTube is now becoming a thing where you can promote yourself and make yourself your own star. And I'm going to continue to do that as the popularity of the Hannibal TV grows. To the US, for instance, Isban is watching from Atlantic City, New Jersey. The other thing I was going to say is Roman Reigns came back last night as part of SummerSlam. He made an appearance. One thing about Roman Reigns being back now, compared to Drew McDonald, Roman Reigns is amazing. So I don't think when fans are back, they're going to boo Roman Reigns quite as much as they had in the past, because now Roman Reigns is legitimately one of the best wrestlers they have, if not the best on their roster as far as coolness levels and looks like a wrestler. And as far as I know, I haven't heard him talk too much, or I haven't actually heard him at all talk about this storytelling performances stuff that even Randy Orton is doing now in his interviews, as I already reported on. In the build-up to Randy Orton's match against Drew McDonald last night, Orton was already saying he felt bad for beating up Ric Flair in an angle leading into that match. So the match hadn't even happened, and they're already breaking kayfabe. Could you have imagined them doing that when the Mega Powers exploded with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man? If anyone remembers WrestleMania 5, the passion that was involved in that angle, and can you imagine if they went to the papers prior to the match and said, oh, we're doing wonderful storytelling here. Randy and I are buddies in real life. Him and Liz and Linda and I all hang out in Florida together when we're not wrestling, but we're telling a great story. They would never do that. And people can say, well, now it's 2020. You can't do that anymore. Everyone knows it's fake. They knew back in 1989 it was fake too. But they liked to suspend their disbelief, which is very, very hard to do. What's the latest with Cody has been? It is that he dropped the title to save face, and that's it. The story is over. Going back to being a reporter, I'm doing wonderful as a reporter. Jan Tyler West says Thunderdome is weird as hell, and I did have some news on the Thunderdome. I heard Dave Meltzer talk about the Thunderdome. I guess there's a fan coordinator that the fans can get instructions from, or they do get instructions from during the Thunderdome. So they're told to boo like this. That's why you have everyone, like, for instance, booing in unison. You would never see that in a live crowd where every single person in the crowd is booing. So there's a, what they call it is a fan coordinator telling them what to do on the screen, and the crowd noise is piped in. They still haven't mastered the crowd noise effect, so it doesn't always match what's happening. It's not like on NXT, they're still having the NXT development talent act as the fake crowd because they're too cheap to hire actors. So they have the development talent do it and do these cheesy, this is awesome chants. I'm sorry. It could be the greatest thing in the world, but when everyone knows that it's just actors in the crowd, to actually have them say, this is awesome, that is just sad. And it's also a good point about this whole situation where there's no fans, and the fans that are there are told what to do, is the WWE has no real way of knowing what's getting over and what isn't, because there's no live fan reaction. You could be pushing someone like this Drew McDonald guy, and the fans could be booing him, for instance, but you wouldn't know that because all the fans right now are just doing what they're told to do by WWE. So that could be one of the reasons why ratings are so low. As far as Thunder Rosa, who is the NWA Women's Champion, I don't think NWA has run since January 25th. I've heard that the least fighting champion in NWA history, Nick Aldis, is now going to be a reporter for Fight TV, who like to screw people over on their pay. Which, by the way, the Impact Network also screwed me over on my pay as well. I'll just throw that out there as another reason why I hate Impact. They're dishonest. I did have some content on the Impact Network. They gave me one check. Then they stopped giving me checks, so I stopped giving them content. So Thunder Rosa has a deal. There's a deal with Billy Corgan and Tony Khan that she's going to be allowed to wrestle in AEW. Jan says that's lame with the Thunderdome. Genji G says I'm the only wrestler left who understands how to blend work with shoot and allows fans to suspend their disbelief. WWE storytellers should take notice. Wrestling is not like it was. There are people like Cody Rhodes actually get afraid of promos when you talk like that nowadays. So it doesn't work, which is why I'm happy I'm doing YouTube and I don't have to wrestle. I'm many of my UFO videos get tons of hits. One of my UFO interviews is almost at 600,000. My UFO news are doing in the thousands. So I'm doing boxing interviews. I'm doing MMA interviews. I'm moving on to other topics because people like to say, oh, you're just acting like you don't like WWE and AEW because you're bitter. Well, that is actually not the case. If you look at the ratings for Raw and SmackDown have been in the 0.4s more often than not lately. AEW is getting in like the 0.2s. NXT is getting in the 0.1s. Sometimes AEW will break into the 0.3s. The fact of the matter is the current wrestling television products are not entertaining. And if I found them entertaining, I would tell you. For instance, Karrion Kross, who I have interviewed, I actually like him. He won the NXT title. That's a good decision. I will tell you when there is good decisions, but I will be honest with you. with what I don't like. I have no reason to suck up to anybody. My favorite company right now is PCW Ultra, and I've been posting their matches on this channel with their consent, and I'm happy to help spread the word. Murd says wrestling is down the toilet. Nobody cares. Frank is laughing at Drew McDonald. Springer says Thunderdome is just sad. Well, AEW is having 500 fans at their show this week. WWE should be able to start having fans really whenever they want. Fans would be better than the Thunderdome thing. The people sitting by themselves in a room doing what they're told. That is sad. Joshua Long tipped me $4.99. Thank you very much for your tip. And he says, thank you for your interviews. Thanks, Joshua. This week, I should have Savio Vega, Lufisto, the Great North Wrestling Women's Champion of Canada, Devon Larratt, the former World Arm Wrestling Champion. And you know what? I love Eurodance music. If anyone knows Love Inc., I'm actually going to be interviewing the lead singer from Love Inc., and one of their songs is You're a Superstar. Broken Bones is another one. Here Comes the Sunshine is another one. Good workout music back in the 90s. So, yeah, I'm also interviewing musicians here and there. Tommy from the Bronx tipped me $20 and said, thanks for all you do, Devon. Thank you very much. Tommy from the Bronx. You guys can also let me know. You just said Arturo Gotti. Give me ideas for interviews, and I will reach out for them. One that I would like to get is Lance Von Erich, who I'm going to try and reach out to. For anyone that doesn't know about Lance Von Erich, he is the false Von Erich that they tried to use as a Von Erich for a while. So we are on Twitter and Instagram at the Hannibal TV. I'm personally on Twitter at Devon Hannibal. If you follow me on there, I will actually follow you back if you DM me. But DM me so I know that it's not spam. So thanks for the tips, everybody. I really appreciate it. Dio says Cody is a pussy. PW909, Scott Norton. I should be up. Scott Norton agreed to one and then kind of stopped answering, but I haven't messaged him back in like a month. So I'll message him again. But he has agreed to one, and I have talked to Scott Norton on the phone. He actually, a funny story about Scott Norton to end this, because it's relevant. Devon Larratt, the World Arm Wrestling Champion, who I've interviewed twice, he's very, very popular. I did not know arm wrestling was this popular. He did an interview with me, I think it was last year, and he said he would like to challenge Scott Norton. And he kind of did like a wrestling promo. I wanted to arm wrestle Scott Norton. And somebody sent this, I think Sonny Ono sent it to Scott Norton. And Scott was furious, absolutely furious. And he called me and like demanded that I take it down. And he called Devon and was like, what the fuck, Devon? Like the other Devon, the arm wrestling guy, Devon. He did not see the comedy in the challenge. So I have talked to Scott, but once he calmed down, we actually did talk for a while. David says, Tommy Rich. Yes, I will work on that. So yeah, we'll end it at that. Arturo says the Thunderdome concept is weird. Emra Kunai says gyms are still closed. They're actually, where I am, I know in LA they're still closed. I was speaking to one of my buddies from LA a couple days ago. But in Canada, they've been back open in Quebec, almost 2 months. And in Ontario, about a month and a half. The hours are reduced, though. So that's unfortunate, and there's weird rules, like you have to walk in with a mask, you have to be in the change rooms with the mask or the lobby with the mask, but in the gym you can take the mask off. And if you use the gym bathroom, you don't need a mask on. But if you use the change room bathrooms, you do need a mask on. It's really, really stupid. I hope they, right now in Ontario, you have to wear a mask or you can be fined if you're in a public indoor place. I hope they get rid of that rule very soon because I personally hate wearing them. Merge says the gyms are still closed where he lives. Sorry about that. Hate to hear that, but my strength is getting back up there. I'm back at about 270 right now, 270, and I can run for 2 to 3 hours. Not many people my size can do that. Dio says, Cody gave up his title like a hot potato after he got pressed on social media to fight me. He had no choice but to drop it, because if he didn't drop it, I had like 7 legendary wrestlers, 3 of whom had fought his dad, another 3 that were Hall of Famers, pressing him to fight me, all the fans harassing him over it to the point where Cody actually answered a fan about it. What kind of executive that's supposedly a superstar answers fans giving them crap about title challenges? I don't know. That showed that it was getting under his skin. I found it hilarious. Jenny G tipped me $49.99. Wow. Thank you. That is the biggest tip I've received on a live stream. So I will thank you for that. And Genji says, thanks for trying to keep real pro wrestling alive more so than the major company. Here's for some protein shakes. Thank you. I could actually buy a whole tub of protein for that. So I really appreciate that. And I will buy a tub of protein for that. So we're going to end this at that. Thank you very much again, Genji G, for that phenomenal tip.